All right, so today we're going to dive into the world of proprietary trading, or as most people call it, prop trading. And we're going to do it through a short but really powerful story. It's a tale all about ambition, a super tempting opportunity, and, well, a pretty tough lesson learned.
I mean, seriously, think about that. It's the classic problem for so many traders out there, right? You've studied the charts, you see the patterns, you feel like you've got a handle on the markets, but your bank account just doesn't have enough zeros. And this is exactly where our story kicks off. So let's get into our first section here, a trader's dilemma. We're going to follow the story of a trader who's stuck right in the middle of this exact conflict, having the brains but not the bucks. Let me introduce you to Crook. After nailing a couple of trades on a simulator, he felt like, the next big thing. He was absolutely convinced that the only thing holding him back from total market domination was just a lack of cash. And really, that's the wall, isn't it? It's simple, but man, it is tough to get over. Without any real money to make meaningful trades, all that skill and all that knowledge, it's just theory. Crook needed to get funded, and he needed it fast. So he did what most people would do. First, he hits up the bank, but nope, they wanted a guarantor, and he didn't have one. Then he turns to his buddies, but all they've got for him are these wild get-rich-quick schemes. It was a total dead end. He knew this was not the way. But you know how it is. Just when it seems like his big dream is going to stay a dream, a new door opens. And for him, it popped up right on his computer screen. So picture this. He's just scrolling through YouTube, and he stumbles upon this term he's never heard before, prop trading. And it looked like the answer to all his problems. A way to get his hands on some serious capital without needing a bank or wealthy friends. Okay, so what is prop trading anyway? This thing that sounds almost too good to be true? Let's break it all down. The idea is actually pretty straightforward. Essentially, a prop firm is a company that gives you their money to trade with. They'll hand you a big funded account, and if you make profits, you share them. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? There's a catch. And here's the deal in a nutshell. To get that big account, you first have to pass a challenge, an evaluation, to prove you actually know what you're doing. And once you're in, you have to play by their rules. We're talking strict guidelines on risk management, because hey, it's their capital. You can't just be a gambler, you have to be logical. For Crook, this sounded like a dream come true. A test? No problem. He was confident. Rules? He was like, hey, I'm a disciplined trader. A stop loss is my best friend. He saw these rules not as restrictions, but just as simple guidelines he was already a pro at following. He was ready to go. So Crook picks a firm and dives right into the challenge. And at first, it really looked like all that confidence was about to pay off big time. Day 1, he's in the green. Nice. Day 2, another winning day. The guy is on fire. He's feeling absolutely unstoppable, right? That dream of devouring the market feels so close. But then there's day 3. And this is where things take a turn. Because when you get that early success in trading, it often brings a friend along with it. And it is a very, very dangerous friend. Yep, greed. All that discipline, all that logic that Crook was so proud of, it just started to melt away. It got replaced by this raw hunger for bigger, faster profits. He wasn't thinking about the rules anymore. He was only thinking about the reward. And then came the thought. The one little thought that would sink the whole ship. It's so simple, so tempting. If I just double the volume, my profit will double too. He decided to throw the rulebook out the window. He entered his next trade with no stop loss. Can you believe it? The very tool he had called his best friend just a few days earlier. He went all in, betting it all on one move. This wasn't a trade anymore. It was a pure gamble, fueled by nothing but greed. And the market? Well, it did what the market does. It turned against him, hard. And with no safety net, poof, the entire evaluation account was gone, up in smoke. The dream was over, just like that. But here's the thing about failure. It hurts, but man, it can be one heck of a teacher. Wiped out, defeated, Crook finally had that moment of clarity. Just picture the scene, right? He's sitting there with a rain-soaked kebab, everything's gone wrong, and in that moment of total defeat, he finally gets it. It was never really about the money. This is the key to the whole story. The funded account from the prop firm? That was just a tool.
It's like having a fancy, professional kitchen. But what good are all those amazing tools if you don't have a recipe to follow? Crook had the capital, but he had no real strategy. So what is this recipe for a trader? Well, it's everything Crook threw away. It's the unwavering discipline to stick to your plan. It's strict risk management on every single trade, no exceptions. It's having a logical strategy. And maybe the most important ingredient of all, it's the ability to control that powerful emotion of greed. And that leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? Prop firms have made capital more accessible than ever before. But as Crook's story shows, having the money is often the easy part. The real challenge, the real grind, is developing that internal recipe for success. So, what do you think is the true barrier for most traders? Something to think about.